If you look at manuscripts of Haggadot from the Middle Ages, many of which are beautiful, I'm sure you can find images online, you'll find that the maror, the bitter herb we call it, although translation is difficult, is always represented as a green leaf, never as anything else. And if you go back to the Talmud, you'll find that when the Talmud discusses maror, it also assumes that maror, the bitter herb, is going to be a green leaf. No one in the Talmud or in the Middle Ages ever heard of horseradish as the food being used for maror. So what we use at our Seders, very typically, at least in Ashkenazi households, would be totally foreign to the sensibility of those who developed these customs. If you think about it, there's a big difference between maror as bitter leaf and something like horseradish. Horseradish is actually not bitter at all. It's hot, it's spicy in its way, but bitterness is a very, very different sort of taste. There's a wonderful medieval commentary which suggests that lettuce should be the maror and was required by the Talmud as maror because when you first put it in your mouth, it's a little bit sweet, and then when you chew it over, if you allow it to remain for a few seconds, then that sweetness or neutrality goes to bitterness. And the commentary suggests that this very much reflects the experience of Jews in Egypt because their experience began not so bad, but then a new pharaoh arose, and with that new pharaoh, the experience went bitter and got worse over the course of time. So what I'd like to actually encourage you to do, I did it at a Seder once not too many years ago, and it was actually more fun than anything we've done, is to have a maror tasting, to choose a wide variety of possible marors. It could be bottled horseradish, it could be horseradish root, but also green leaves, mustard greens, radicchio. You choose your favorite and let it be abundant. I chose from the bins at the vegetable market, probably a dozen or more of these. And we began with the least hot. We went to the most hot. I included some jalapeno pepper. And after we went through the range, I asked people to consider what each of these foods symbolized. Did it symbolize, in a way that they understood to be correct, the Passover experience in Egypt, or did it not? And then we voted. I'm not going to tell you which one, but I can tell you it wasn't horseradish. If you try the same at your Seder, you will have a lot of fun. You'll taste a lot of wonderful leaves, and you'll be able to consider the powerful connection between the symbolism of food and the story that we tell. If you are what you eat, then what you eat on Passover should reflect in a very true way the experience of being in Egypt and coming out from Egypt, because as you know, in each generation we're required to imagine ourselves as though we ourselves came out of Egypt.